Welcome back from the break, ladies and gentlemen, to the second match of the day. We're about to hop into the third one here. New York versus Houston Hex. It's going to be good.
Is it?
It is.
Is it really?
It is, because New York are going to absolutely, completely, you see those horns? They're going to go like that.
Yeah, look, like I've always been a personal fan of the Houston Outlaws. I've known a lot of these guys for a very long time, and I root for them, but the results just have not been good. They did not win a single match in Stage 2, which made Bren look smart, which hurts me deep down. And New York's looked really, really good. They've lost 2 matches, but it was to Atlanta twice, so Atlanta just has their number. Let's take a look at what the numbers actually bear out for these two teams. As I mentioned, 2 losses for the New York Excelsior at 12-2, those 2 losses to the Atlanta Reign. And all the way on the other side, number 17 is the bright green Houston Outlaws, 3-11. The map differential is what's brutal, -23.
Yeah,
They're losing hard when they lose.
Hard, exactly. It's a one-sided affair. I haven't run into Flame in the hallways lately, but you know, he never is very happy with how things seem to be going. Man puts his heart and soul into the team, but for now, Outlaws right now, they need to figure something out, Hex. What needs to change for these guys to have any kind of an impact?
Anything, really. I mean, this is, well, it's one of the reasons that I respect Florida despite having a similar record, because Florida's like, we're not good, we need to change a whole lot of things. And look at the compositions that Houston tries to run and how they win on it. Of course, on the far left is the standard Reinhardt 3-3. 253 team fights, they only win 40% of them. It's not good enough to win matches. Winston 3-3, also not good. But look at this, in the small sample size we have, a McCree bunker comp, 10 team fight wins, 80% win rate. Triple DPS, 72% win rate. So, yes, there's small sample sizes, but maybe try that. And I've heard rumors, pray tell, that they're just going to play their best heroes and put in their best players and see what happens. Because obviously, they can't play 3-3 with everybody else, and it's been frustrating to watch them try to.
Don't toy with my feelings like that, Hex. You mean that they might actually run damage?
You like damage
the
healers?
Jake Rat?
I would have never thought. But I think that's what they need to do. I think, look, it's not working. Period. End of sentence. It's not working running 3-3. You're not going to win matches with a 40% team fight win rate against these teams that are very good at 3-3, like New York.
So we need basically them to go for like the Chengdu method and get in there and just
go
ham with the damage.
The devs talked about it in the pregame that Muma is a very good Orisa. You're going to run a bunker composition. You have your best player on the bench a lot of the times in Linkser because he plays mostly damage dealers, doesn't like playing the Brigida as much. So you got to try something. You got to try something.
Well, what about New York's results? Because we're going to take a look at that now in terms of their results. New York's still a top 3 team in this league. Last season, they absolutely dominated up until the playoffs pretty much. Here, as far as this season is going, they're still looking just so good.
Yeah, very, very good. So their last 2 losses, back-to-back to Atlanta, so Atlanta just had their number somehow. They haven't had the stage playoff results, but I think that's more because they ran into Seoul at a weird time. Seoul kind of caught them off guard in stage 1. But then also, you know, you've got teams that are Vancouver and San Francisco who just play a more aggressive style of 3-3, which has worked out better. But you can never sleep on New York.
I think in New York in that last in the last playoffs that we saw them kind of radically try to change their style, which was a bit weird to me, because going into that it was always like they are the defensive form of goats. That's their strength. They let you come to them and they choke you out. And yet somehow they just like towards the end of the stage they're like, oh no, we need to hold on. We need to start like playing aggressive. We need to start changing our style. This isn't sitting, and we just saw them kind of come apart in the playoffs.
One of the times I like them playing aggressive, this was reviewing last year's film, is when Mono gets to play Winston. So his Reinhardt, I think, is very, very good. I think his Winston is god tier. Coming into the league, we had to do early predictions, and I had Mono being my MVP. Let's see if he can return to form.
So it's time to get our first team out onto the stage now, Hex. Let's get into it. Third match of the day here live from Los Angeles, and the first team to the stage will be the Houston Outlaws.
Still one of the most passionate fan bases in all of the Overwatch League. A lot of neon green out here in the arena today. New jerseys looking excellent there. And what's excellent, in my opinion, is that we've got Linkser out there coming in. Jake's coming in. Seems to be maybe a little more DPS focused. Hopefully, another new look for the hair of Raucus. Always looking good.
Always stylish, always looking sharp. You can see he had black hair at one point, Hex. Now it's silver. You never really know with Raucus. He keeps you guessing.
Yeah, so this is very similar to what they ran it a lot in Season 1. Boink is in rather than Bonnie, but that's really the only change. Boink, of course, more known as the Lucio specialist.
Well, let's get their opponents out onto the stage now. It will be the New York Excelsior.
Another walkout, another sick-looking third jersey for New York. You've got the skyline coming in. Man, those are clean. I might have to come out of pocket and pick one of those up. Looking good right there. No need for introductions for most of these guys. We talk about Mono and Meko being a top-tier tank line in the league, which they are. And then you still have the reigning MVP in Jonak on Zenyatta.
Still a monster, still cranking out damage. A little bit more healing these days, just a touch. Yeah. But that is due to the meta, due to the change. He doesn't have a pocket mercy, just damage boosting him all the time. Things like that, making a little bit of a difference. But this team is still one of the top 3, one of the most dominant in the league, and in large part due to this man in question, Mono.
Mono is just so great. I mentioned I would like to see him more on Winston, though. Winston lately in 3-3 is more of a defensive Winston. Looking at last year's tape, watching him play offensive Winston and just primal other team support lines and just win matches almost by himself has been great. Like I said, in my preseason predictions, I picked him as the MVP. I think he's just steady, rock solid. I mean it as a compliment, like a robotically good tank. Doesn't make mistakes, always where he needs to be, and now he's kind of switched up his style where he can throw you a curveball and be aggressive, like a bumper, like a super.
Well, that's where I started to see the change in style for New York, where it wasn't the focus on Jonak, and perhaps that's why we start to see them struggle just a little bit, is because you're shifting how your team is played. The whole system was built around Jonak before, and now you're like, right, okay, tanks are so important in this meta. How can we adapt? Mono, turns out you're pretty good. Let's go ahead and start shifting our attention to him and make him the game plan. But we got to get some maps hacks. These are presented by Toyota, the map set for the day, and we'll be kicking things off on Ilios.
Ilios can be a great map if you want to run the bunker comps and the DPS comps that we've seen Houston be successful on, especially when we get to well in all the places you can pull people in. With the Orisa, I would expect this one to be mostly a 3-3 composition, though, because of the nature of this map. Fighting mostly happens in the pit. You gain control of it, and usually a team will hold forward onto the stairs, see what happens there. So maybe not entirely indicative of how Houston's going to play, because I do think at some point they need to just try something else and throw a curveball at a team.
What was it, 40% win rate with this very composition. So a lot of the time they're not winning with it, but we'll see how they fare today. Lynx are on the Zarya, so he'll get to do the damage and perhaps dictate some of the fight here for Houston. New York, no shocks on this side. We're just getting a straight mirror.
Pushing a little bit. Raucous gets caught out by his opposing number. And sorry to say it, that one's over.
Already Jonak with 2. Getting the job done. Jonak floating his way through, doing the happy dance. Or the happy float. He's always just looking for these volleys, exactly. Right there, gets the angle.
Yeah, that first fight seemed like New York baited out a little bit of aggression. They stepped forward a little bit, then stepped back. Luma came in a little bit too far. They were able to get past that shield, able to crank in that volley. And yeah, I mean, it's just like a meme. It's just Jonak things.
He's already at 65% on the trans. That's going to be huge. Falling back with the rest of the team. Don't want to overextend. Mono working very well towards that Earth Shatter. Puma kind of trailing behind on that ultimate in the Rhine fight. But now it's just New York getting the first control, 35% and counting, and it's on Houston Outlaws now. The onus is on them to try and crack this defense. It's just because that fight was so one-sided, they're a bit behind on ult, so they've got their work cut off for them here, Houston. They can take their time. Jake is going to go for the rally, give his teammates a little bit of armor here to keep them buffed up, and they are starting to catch up on the ults, but it looks like Nene. Now's the time for the grab, and Momo gonna get deleted.
Oh, the Transcendence a second too late. Raucous smashing Q, hoping it would come online, but it's not enough to save his main tank. They are trading out, though. The self-destruct came out to get a new mech, but Jake takes out Meko.
That was an impeccably timed sound barrier there from Boink, making the difference, perhaps. Mono is still alive, but he's getting melted. Lynx are really cranking out the damage when he's full energy like this. Gonna start making a bit of a problem here for New York Excel, except that Animo gets the sound barrier back, and New York are doing such a great job of just slowing down the pace of this game until that happens. Until Jonak once again picks Raucous.
Just patient ultimates, and we've seen that the Zenyatta who's able to take out opposing Zenyatas is such a valuable asset for his team. All the top level teams have Zens who somehow find that small window to take out the opposing Zen. You see it from Twilight, you see it from Violet pretty consistently.
Oh, this is gonna be, oh, Point goes down. Do they have anybody close enough? Looks like we have 4 players. We did get exactly. Lynx are trading onto the Tracer. Just get back into the fight a little bit faster. Jake on the hamster as well. Still, this should favor Excel. If Libero goes down, it could get dicey, but the trance is here for Jonak, and he doesn't waste any time. They're just looking to crush this fight, New York. It's going their way.
Shatter comes in just to secure that kill. Jake does his best to try to slow it down, but it is just a few members of the Houston Outlaws on the point. That's going to be it, 100% to 0 in favor of our team from New York.
Hard lock, and in terms of kills as well, 14 for New York, 1 for Houston Outlaws.
Mecco, no. Get it together, Mecco. That was actually, he went for a self-destruct. I think he was trying to just remech based on where the self-destruct was, and then Jake was able to stun him and kill him.
Yeah.
So easier to kill in that pilot deal form. I think this is this is going to be the indicator map. If Houston tries to run 3-3 on this map, then it's the definition of insanity all over again. Doing the same thing again and again, expecting different results. But this is the map that they can run Bunker in McCree, which has been their most successful composition by a mile. About 80% win rate in team fights on this composition. And if they don't run it here, I don't know what we're going to see from Houston. And they do. They do finally give us a little bit of a wrinkle.
They stick to it. We got the McCree. Let's see if he can keep the peace. Links are definitely good at connecting already. Put a little bit of pressure on. New York should not be shocked by this, though. Sure, they've done their homework. Sure, they've tried to figure out exactly what they're going to be running. Links are doing a good job of staying alive. Nice attempt at a punish there by New York, but some quick feet from Linkser, and he's able to get over with the rest of his team. So now that means he has that shield to hide behind and to just crank out the damage with.
Mono on the Winston is going to be the change they make rather than running 3-3 Ryan into a bunker composition. Allows him to focus down targets, but he's the one focused on a nice volley from Raucus. Takes down the main tank.
Oh, but the trade, and Jake gets booped off the side. It looked so good, Hex, it looked so good. But it's not meant to be here for the Houston Outlaws despite the start. The game plan with the McCree is you can shut down that Winston. It makes Mono have to think twice. If he goes jumping in, he can get flashbangs, fan the hammer, everybody focuses him, and he could die in an instant even if he is a tank.
And it seems like they're going to make some changes now. Short-lived was the McCree, short-lived was the Orisa. Very difficult to reset up, so had they won that first point, I think they would have stayed a bit longer, but very difficult to retake. Muma is on the Winston, it's one of his better heroes as well. And I just want to give Animo all the credit in the world. I mean, he's stepped up so big this year, it's one of the reasons they were able to get rid of Arc halfway through the season. Animo has put on a clinic.
Oh, he just turned that fight around. One for the team. Let's go. Here's the focus coming in from New York. Ults are coming online. Libero with the rally, gonna get everybody boosted up, and a bit of armor to boot. Jonak somehow falls at the hands of Linkser, but swiftly avenged. And New York Excel going to continue to gain percentage on the point, 42 and counting.
I do like this aggressive style that New York is trying to learn and master, because it's not enough to be able to beat most of the teams in the Overwatch League. These guys want to be the champions, and to be able to be the champions, you have to beat the top 2 teams, which are very aggressive teams, and you have to match that style somehow. So New York, I think they're willing to take losses against Atlanta and willing to try things out to be more aggressive. Right there, they just saw an opening, someone overextended, took it, and they won that fight.
I mean, it helps to have not only great tanks, but the league MVP, who's still just perfectly capable of cranking out damage and getting headshots at all times. So, with Jonak and Mono working together, New York still trying to figure it out. There's the grab, hidden by Nene, into the wall he goes. Sound barrier's there for Boink, though, so he's gonna be keeping him up. Trading 1 for 1. You've gotten rid of Animo, at least.
Both trying to use almost defensive self-destructs there, but they end up being so close together, they're offensive. Jonak goes down. Mono's trying to bring this back, though.
He is looking for it. He's got him pre-pinned in the wall, but with Linkser there, he's taking a lot of damage. Has to be careful. Mono will remove Cool Matt. We're going back and forth, but it's looking like Houston Outlaws will win through on the fight.
Animo almost got him. He was in Primal Rage, though, so Moon was able to jump back up. All right, so Houston trying to give people some hope here. Linkser brings that one back. New York, 1 fight away from taking our first map.
Yeah, 99%, so no perfect score here, no perfect 2-0. But still, New York, they've got Libero with the rally, ready to get him, exactly. In the engage, they're looking to punish. Linkser was a bit off on his own. Linkser getting focused, but Raucus gonna have the trance ready to go. Nene does not have grab, and so Raucus just wants to make sure that nobody dies on his team. You cannot lose the point now.
The next kind of interesting dance here is Linkser getting grabbed. Jonak just gets Transcendence right now.
Linkser's gonna get it as well. So there will be a grab and play. Went out. Yep, uses it, no hesitation. Trying to go for the solo. Not gonna matter. Raucous, though, will find the kill on Mono.
Almost got Libero into the pit. Uses the bash just as a mobility tool to escape that kill. But all said and done, New York is bleeding.
And if it bleeds, Houston can kill it and mount it on the wall.
Take their trophy of the NYXL. All right, so counting up. Nearly 70% for the Houston Outlaws. Uma with the Primal Rage. Mano's gonna use his Primal Rage, try to get a kill. He's separated Jake for a moment, but he's all alone, and he's dead.
He's dead. Solo Primal like that is not gonna help things, and now all of the ultimates are coming online here for the Houston Outlaws. Jake decides now is the time to rally. They can get a couple more kills here. This is really gonna put New York in a tough spot. Nene decides now's the time to grab, though. We have seen this backfire in the past with the over-aggression. Libero with the rally, getting everybody beefy, and Jake just barely surviving. Excellent bubble from Lynx are keeping him up. And the Houston Outlaws backing off to the point, giving ground.
Raucous with a clutch transcendence. Mono has gone over to the Hammond here. Libero super low, Libero down. Meko is super low as well. Animo down. Houston pulls it back.
They're making it happen, Hex. They are showing that New York have to take them seriously. It went a little bit too easily for New York on the first point, but we are about to have a tied situation unless something drastic happens. Raucous will fall. New York still trying to hang in here. So long as they keep touching the point, they will keep this fight alive. But losing Jonak is not going to help things.
Well, Libero comes back on the Doomfist, able to take down Linkster, but I don't believe it's going to be enough. Nope, into the hole with you.
Get out. We're tied up. Houston Outlaws. 1-1, they make it happen. We're actually gonna go the distance, Hex, on a control. Let's see who will crack under the pressure.
Let's go to the Lighthouse. Great book, by the way. What's really interesting there is New York started playing really aggressive off angles with their tanks. So one of the kills that happens is D.Va goes behind, and they immediately notice this. So then Linkster throws in the Graviton, catches a solo Brigitte, and then Mono dies all alone because there's no defense matrix to help him out. They weren't going together. They were running two dive tanks. They're both taking aggressive off angles. Maybe not expecting Houston to be able to punish them, but Houston showed up. They punished them.
Probably thinking, hey, maybe taking a look at those stats. Oh, we got them to switch to the one comp that they failed to win team fights with most of the time. Houston Outlaws, though, turns out this was the exception. New York now been putting on notice. We're going to have the Rhine battle back in the play here. So it is a mirror matchup. Still goats. But Ryan goats.
Two very aggressive bubbles used early on by Nene to try to get some charge going. Probably going to wait it out until he has his bubbles back up. Low charge for Lixer has to drop down. Animo deleted.
Oh man, Raucous starting to come into his own as well. Opening kill here for Raucous to kick things off. Meko going to get demexed as well, not going to help things for New York, and it's Houston Outlaws picking up first control. You know, here we go, they're starting to wake up, Hex.
Yeah. Good for Raucous, too. He's taken a lot of guff from the Houston Outlaw fans over this season, and the first stage did not start out well from him. Jonak had his number, perhaps making adjustments on his positioning here, because he's been able to put out the damage they need to finish kills. A lot of teams are able to get a lot of damage done, but you don't have that last bit. That's what you need your Zen to be alive to do. Trying to thread the needle there. It doesn't quite happen, but good position.
I like
He's going to have Transcendence up. That's how much work he's already put in.
That's the important bit, and there it is, the opening kill. Libero getting caught by Linkster. Body block as well on Mono. Does he manage to get it done? No! Mono able to sneak his way out, but it's looking like the rest of Houston trying to put the pressure on, and they will find a second and a third.
He's cleaning up. Gets more kills in. The only question is now, can Boink get to his sound barrier before they get grabbed? Can he get it off? Because using the aggressive Transcendence opens the eyes of the opposing Zarya. That's always the counterplay to Graviton Surge, is to have Transcendence up. And usually those are one fights. So Nene needs to come in here and find an angle. Maybe Matt can make an appearance. Been quiet so far, but Divas can often do a lot without making a lot of noise.
There's the positioning. Nene immediately goes for it. There's the opening kill. We trade it 1-for-1. Losing Mono is not going to help things here for NYXL, though. And there's the sound barrier committed by Houston Outlaws. They really do not want to let this get out of hand. Without a main tank, New York Excel are vulnerable, whereas now New York are just charging into Muma, doing what he can to survive. Linkster's going to go, and this is going to be a fight after all for New York. Ejected. Tell us what the tiles look like down there, Muma.
It was an interesting strategy by Houston to use that very early Transcendence aggressively. And I think the plan is to just counter grav when they got graviton so that you can't get the damage through anyway, because no one's in close enough quarters to swing through. Did not quite work out, but it's an interesting idea to go with. Now neither team with a graviton surge.
This is gonna be fun. There you go. Hey, there you go. Perfect play from Mono. The trap shatter works.
Check your corners, people. Check your corners.
This is how it's supposed to go. You always look left and right before crossing into the shatter.
Oh.
Brutal. Well, that's going to buy some valuable time here for New York Excel. They're up to 40%.
But silver lining, you know, 88% sitting on the board for the Houston Outlaws. A stunning number, I think, that everyone is a little surprised by. And they're playing aggressively, take no prisoners. I believe they're going to probably rally in here, hope that Muma gets up to the shatter. But Rakas has to save his Transcendence. They have to know now that Nene has Graviton Surge.
And he doesn't waste any time at all. Takes full advantage of it. We're going to get the Brian out of there. Looking for the follow-up. Muma going to get focused down. Just Nene doing so much damage right now. Houston Outlaws, they don't have a trance. They don't have a rally. They got a lot of work to do going into this now.
Now, it's not quite time to panic, though, because they're going to be getting 3 tank ultimates online. If they can correctly hit their combos here and get the self-destruct over top, which has kind of fallen a little bit out of favor. It used to be the go-to play in Stage 1. But you can burn through shields and Transcendence very quickly with that giant burst damage.
So far, New York doing a good job of trying to split up, though. Jonak and Nanamo do not want to be stacked. Links are dangerously low. Shatter thrown in by Muma. Blocked accordingly by the New York Excel. And so New York, still, they know where the Houston Outlaws have to take this next fight. Grab thrown in. Jonak with the trance to keep him up. Pull him out with the bomb. Doesn't matter. Shield is up here on the side of New York Excel, and the New York Excel are doing it right. Rockets, though, with the trance could make all the difference. And Boink has still got the sound barrier. But losing Muma is not going to help. Boink taking out Mono, though. That's the kind of play that you need here from the Houston Outlaws. And now they have the sound barrier. Now they get the job done. And the Houston Outlaws will take the first map versus the New York Excel.
Most likely, 88%. You're going to get a Hammond back on here. Hammond can do crazy things in environmental areas here. They're going to wait. They're going to get Hammond in first. The speed boost from Lucio comes back on the point as well. Not 100% over just yet. Stunned out!
He's gone. There's your main tank dead, and they will do it in the end. Animo just barely missing out on touching the point.
Oh, it's been a while since I've seen those smiles from the Houston Outlaws. They're giving their fans hope.
They have figured it out perhaps here, revitalized with the break. Maybe they just need some time off, X, a little bit of time to recharge the batteries. Take a break and rest. Links are in the game as well. Good to see. We'll be back in just a moment with map 2.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Into the iris. Welcome to Assist of the Week, presented by State Farm. All-Star is a time to flex a bit, and the Atlantic Division's Jonak certainly flexed on Huxl's Genji just after he ulted by landing a crazy sleep dart to stop him in his tracks. Then Jonak capped the play off with a biotic grenade to finish Huxl.
Well, there you have it, the man in question, Jonak. He started off really strong, Hex. He was just dominating Raucus on the first point. And then it seemed like the impact was starting to dip a little bit into the second, and obviously the crucial third point for New York Excel.
Yeah, he was able to find the angles on the very first point. The shield management wasn't perfect from Muma early on there, but his counterpart really showed up in the latter 2 points of Ilios. Raucus had a big game, a huge impact, especially on the 3rd point of that map. And you know what? It's a sentence I didn't think I was going to be saying today. Houston is up 1-0 on the NYXL.
Yeah, taking the first point of the series. But this is what I'm wondering. Are we getting another Toronto moment? You know, those control points can be a little squiffy sometimes, get a bit chaotic. You can have the big plays that come through, but now we're going to start getting into the structured territory. You're going to have those strategies. How do you take that point? How do you get that payload moving?
I agree. Control can be a bit of a variance map, but you expect variance between like Team 5 and Team 8. Not Team 2 and 17.
That's a good point. Fair point. Fine, Hex.
That's a little bit too much variance. And so, I mean, the question is, NYXL is somewhat known for it, fairly or not, to take games off, to take maps off, to not give the full preparation or respect to the teams that they're facing. Is that the case today? You don't really want to open a window and give a team confidence no matter what. Like, you and I like Vancouver and San Francisco because they step on throats.
Yes.
You're on the ground, get out of my server, out of here.
Yes.
NYXL kind of just like, well, I guess we'll play a little bit more, you know.
This is where, I mean, but you're talking about 2 teams. That's why the Shock and the Titans are so dominant, is because there's no doubt in their strategy. There's no doubt in their team. They know exactly what they're doing.
Right.
And watching this, it may feel like we're still seeing a little bit of indecision coming out here from New York in terms of what they need to do. But, all right, we had a sub. Wasn't sure who it was going to be, but SBB is back on the stage.
Saebyeolbe back again, an icon in Overwatch. We'll be subbing in for Meko. So a little bit interesting there. Meko usually plays the off tank, so I wonder what New York has up their sleeve. Saebyeolbe declared himself the best tracer in the world at the end of last year. Here comes Dante coming in for Cool Matt. Another interesting play that they're going with here.
I mean, all right, so Dante's going to be coming through here. All right, well, it's not the first time that we've seen Saebyeolbe this time in Overwatch, but he has not been making many appearances at all. We're still wondering where in the forest is Pine. But Saebyeolbe,
I get it.
You know, does he still remember how to play? He's talking big last year when he was dominating, sure, but here.
It's still the married man meta. I believe. I believe in Saebyeolbe. He's always been one of my favorite players. Them both subbing in for the off tank or the diva players kind of makes me believe that we will be seeing Sombra play out of very likely at least Dante, maybe Saebyeolbe. But there's Raucus, who I was talking about. Again, just great hair on this Houston team. Every stylist's favorite team. Jonak rocking a nice cut as well. But these are the head-to-head stats between our Zenyatas on Ilios.
Bit more of... And, well, actually very even. The board.
It's really good that Raucus is able to keep up on final blows. I mentioned especially you need that last bit of damage, and in a 3-3 meta, there's not a lot of people with ranged damage. You think about it. Zari's got a limited range, right clicks can do okay, but really, Zenyatta's one of the best range on that team unless you're hitting a giant fire strike across that map.
He's one of the big sources of damage because of the volleys, right? If you manage to get, you get that ding, 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 and then all of a sudden, you can even drop tanks if you get the shots right. So, I mean, you do have that burst with Zen. That's why he can be so important.
That burst with Zen, but like when a fight kind of breaks down, you're not volleying. You're just trying to hit headshots too, because you don't want to volley and have to reload immediately. You want to get as much damage as possible out of each individual orb.
Well, it's not hit scan either, so it's super satisfying when it happens. But you gotta track them. You just don't lead them as much sometimes. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Houston Outlaws real quick, because we had a chance to listen in to Jay giving a pep talk.
No, he's left. Kill him. Pool. Kill the ball. Lucio.
Watch out, where's that?
1-1.
Yeah, they're coming in.
Stay on point.
I'm sure.
Nice, dude.
We won the map.
Yo, guys, let's keep this going. We're doing a good job of not getting too crazy there. Like,
I'm so proud of
we
it.
get good. We get too crazy sometimes. Let's keep it at this level. Like, we're owning.
I'm out right for the next one.
Glad to see Jake back in the server. Glad to see him in the leadership chair.
Is just going to have
The hot seat.
He's going to have a career doing motivational audiobooks after this. You know? Just everybody, it's okay. But yeah, Jake is, he's always been a very vocal person, a team leader, a big brain, if you will. He's got a lot of strategies up his sleeve, even as Brigitte, right? So as Brigitte, it's not as mechanically demanding as some other things, so you're able to kind of see the whole picture, able to make calls and call-outs. And Jake has been, you know, an icon in this league since he broke into it. Played in the World Cup. I mean, he plays a lot of different heroes, but everyone knows him and loves him as the Jake Rat.
Yeah, exactly. The Junkrat play. And all that is really what he does. He seems to excel at those niche heroes. I mean, Junkrat, obviously, we saw a bit of Junkrat last season. But, you know, Jake, it seems like it took him a bit of time to find his place, but it does seem like he's coming into his own here in the second season, in the 2019 season of Overwatch League. So, getting into the next map, we're going to the moon, Hanks.
Going to the moon, Horizon Lunar Colony will be our assault map coming in, and this LCD screen we have at the arena still blows my mind. It is so beautiful to watch these maps come up, transported to space, come down to the arena if you haven't made it just yet. And I want to see what our substitutions are going to play. I theorize that it's going to be very Sombra heavy here. Sabiobi obviously allows you the versatility to play anything that shoots, really. Has had a good Widow performance as well, which can be utilized on the defense. But with both Diva players coming out and being subbed in, I imagine it's going to be Sombra, be Sombra. It will be just that. And Houston, I believe, is going to scout at the very least. Maybe they'll run this, but don't get your hopes up just yet.
Yeah, curious. Curious and curiouser. Are they going to toy with our feelings, continue to toy with our feelings here?
Well,
Got one?
no, they're coming out.
Raucous has changed to Ana, though.
Yeah, but you need a little bit more healing on the ground for Muma, and from the distance, I think they're running this. Yeah, they're in.
Let's go. I'm loving it. Let's go. Okay, SBB. He's on Sombra. With his aim, he can do some serious damage, but not if he's dead. Jake, point blank.
Bye!
Just assassinates SBB. That's a rough one. That's a rough start for SBB. Hey guys, I'm on the stage. I'm dead. I'm back in spawn. What is this?
All right, I was wondering if he was going to change to Widow here to try to counter some of this, but it seems like New York feels like they can still play this defense. You have to be patient here, but the more patient you are, the more poke you're going to take.
This point, Jake knows the angles. He can get this angle. Oh,
that's
no,
huge.
That's not good. Boink going down. Jake no longer has a pocket.
I thought they saw him coming up too. I thought they saw Nene rotating up. They did not. Nene gets up there, takes down a huge part of this composition. That's so much healing gone.
That's Jake's autonomy gone as well. He's going to be second-guessing himself now until he can get Boink back into this. Looks like Boink's going to make their way there. Linkster's got the walls on, so now we can actually see, Houston Outlaws can see the outlines of the New York Excelsior players through the walls. That's going to help. Linkster's still looking for the shots. Got to be careful.
Nano is out as well. They're still putting some progress on the point, though.
They are, but so long as Nene's here just cranking out hurt, this is still dicey. Did he get it? Oh no, the body block. Jake instantly deleted though by Libero, and Boink gonna go down as well. 2 down for Houston Outlaws, and the rest of the team definitely gonna have to back off and reset.
Once your power goes down as Mercy, you have no vertical escape. You don't have any mobility to be able to get there. You can dance around to other members on your point, but it's very difficult to do so. And New York has kind of held off this storm of DPS. DPS can be a very slow point.
That's what they were waiting for here, but it's only a double. SBB doesn't really care if he gets silenced. And Libero, same thing. Rally goes. The rally is still online, and now SBB has got it. Looking for a bit of a back cap there, Muma, playing tricks.
Oh, a hacked Hammond is usually a dead Hammond. That's exactly what happens there as Muma will fall. He was trying to put progress on the point. They do have 1 tick on the point. A very nice kill onto Jonak from Linkster, but it's not going to be enough with a ton of kills coming through. The Animo Taxi is going back to bring Jonak back into this fight. Going to be at full 6.
Now we're going to see it though. Raucous going to the Soldier. We've seen this before. He can do damage. He can definitely bring the pain. Houston Outlaws now, this is them grasping. They've got 50 seconds on the clock. Oh, again. Again, the perfect hack on Muma. Muma has to play carefully, has to back off. SBB still waiting on the point. He's got that EMP.
Just scouting now. Muma's trying to roll around. Rise don't go for the hack on him, but they don't want to reveal their position. Too many people on high ground right now for Houston. No one really contesting it for New York. I think they're just going to play extremely patient, wait for them to push point EMP.
Was there now, kind of keeping an eye on things. Oh, we looked at me, and it seemed like he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Linkster did not miss that chance. Oh, great. Now the binds are going down to 2 ticks of progress. Jake gets deleted again by Libero, though, so the volleys are just not happening. But Boink there with the res. Gonna keep him up. Another chance here for Jake to seek redemption. Oh, that could have been a big chance, but Jake will manage to confirm the kill. Then it goes down, and Houston Outlaws, are they gonna make it happen? SBB's back now, and there's a hack that goes off. The kills are starting to swing New York's way.
I was so close to. Linkster almost won that single-handedly with Infrasight, but the huge EMP late. Mono swings away, not enough damage onto him, and New York will hold. But Houston made it interesting.
Well, a little bit of an eye roll there from Muma. You know the frustration has got to be real for Houston in that scenario. Looked so good, like they were going to get the job done on that first point, but instead, we will now be seeing what are New York capable of on the offense right after this.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Sterben nicht. Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei. Apagando las luces.
Don't rub your eyes. Don't blink, Hex. He's actually there on your screen, on the stage. SBB in the flesh.
C'est BLB. A lot of players who used to main Tracer have picked up Sombra because she's similar-ish in mechanics, at least tracking-wise, as far as your aim goes. Not the best Sombra, but he came in clutch when it mattered. And clutch is everything in life.
Exactly.
So, like, it wasn't necessarily as well. He got domed immediately because splash damage will reveal you, and then he got knocked by Jake. And then he got revealed by Infrasight, and Linkser doesn't miss that shot most of the time. But his team's able to stall out. He comes back, EMP comes in, and then no abilities. Mano's just going to swing the hammer away. We actually talked about a little break, too. It's kind of interesting, like, Jake tried Barrage twice, and Libero got him twice.
Yeah, Libero is Johnny on the spot there. He's like, nah, I think not. But what is actually happening here, Hex? Look at this. The J-Crat.
Well, this makes sense.
The J-Crat is back. This is some of the vintage Lunar.
This used to be the comp to run on Lunar. You go top left here, you set up with an Orisa, which we mentioned is one of Muma's best heroes, and then you just rain in damage. Linkser can do whatever he wants. And see how NYXL wants to break this.
Well, they know there's a junk in play now. Spotted the trap mine combo. I'm just happy to be seeing Jake back in the action here.
I'm happy to see Tracer Genji coming in. Animo goes down early though. Dante with the quick pick on the back end of things. And the rest of this dive kind of has to bail now.
Just got to remember how to face this. It's been a while, not only for SBB, but for having to deal with these comps. Fun times. SBB in the back line right now, going to be making his presence felt just a little bit. Nene as well on the Tracer.
Yeah, so you run dive against Orisa because there's pressure from all angles. You can get in here with a pulse bomb, you can get in here with a blade. And he takes on Linkser, gives his life for it though. See if the resurrections come through from either side. New York bleeding too much though. You don't even need to try to res this. You're in trouble.
Ooh, buddy. Jonak, just barely. No, they got him in the end. Oh, Animo with the res, but it's just, oh, there we go. Finally, SVB is going to take Jake out of it. Boink can make his way up there for the res, though, it looks like. Animo caught out in the open here by Dante. Dante doing some good work. We were talking a lot about SBB earlier in terms of Tracers and Tracers going over to Sombras, but Dante's one of those guys as well.
Yeah, Dante was considered a specialist on Sombra because the Tracer kind of fell out of favor. And he's able to get Jake again. Nene with 2 kills. Wins the Tracer v Tracer. Muma was purple for a second, anti-healed. New York making a little bit of progress here.
2 minutes on the clock as well. Nene in the back, yep, looking for the pulse. Oh, the wings come out at the perfect time, unbelievable. Timing works out excellent there.
They're stuck in the back corner. It's kind of a pulse bomb dream. They might be waiting for EMP though.
EMP pulse could definitely ruin some fun here. Houston though, still surviving. Minute 45 on the clock. Ult's online. Let's see. Yep, it's gonna be the EMP. Straight into the open. Boom. Instantly deleted. Nene gets Boink, but then Nene and Sebiomi fall immediately as well. Not going according to plan here for New York Excel.
Absolutely not enough. Jake has come in with a couple of big kills. It should have opened the door. It did not. Linkser's able to take down Animo on the other side, and it's never been enough consistent kills for New York without losing too many players of their own. And now we're in space.
No, buddy. There you go.
Uh-oh. No recall.
Don't want to go down, though. Yep, Nene gonna get the punish. So we lose Linkser. He'll be back in the fight.
It's a trade you make, though. All right, the big thing coming up, though, is that there is going to be a Nano Blade ready to go. A tire could slow things down just a little bit, but that's the combo you're probably going to look for. Nano Blade, maybe a big pile driver in Minefield. New York has the tools. Need 82% to win the map.
Got the plays. Curious to see if Linkser's going to get that pulse going, but there it is. Blade in. Instant kill on point. No res possible now. We lose Jake as well. Tire still connects though. Libero goes, but still, all the kills seem to be favoring New York, and they are going to spin this out of control. Muma with no support there. No way he survives. Brock is caught out as well, and it's going to be, I mean, Nene nearly has another pulse ready to go already. It's going to be so tough here for Houston.
Dante gets a kill, but it's not going to be enough. New York played it perfectly, patiently, waited for ultimates, waited for their time, knowing what their win condition was, and they pull it off with something reminiscent of a dive comp.
Yeah, you know, SVB is so lethal. He was even doing his accountant impression there for a moment, blowing on the fingers. We're taking a break, and we'll hear what the halftime team had to say after that.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right. Outlaws are trying to get their best win of the season and upset the mighty NYXL. But this is still 1-1 at the half after New York battles back. Welcome back into a full Blizzard Arena Pride Day here, and we are having an awesome time. We've got Sideshow, we've got Bren, we've got a great audience, and a tie game. I think this is the most shocking thing I've seen. No one expected the NYXL to struggle with Houston because Houston, if you remember back, did not win a single match back in Stage 2. Today, they came out swinging.
They really did, yeah. They made some improvements over their play, obviously, because now it's 1-1 at the half. And it's interesting, actually, seeing how, because this is actually a rematch from earlier in the season. These teams have played each other before. And I distinctly remember as well, one of the things that the biggest difference is that they're not really playing as scared as they once were. They're taking a fight to New York Excelsior, which is kind of what you have to do against this team. New York Excelsior, sometimes under the pressure, when you're playing a higher pace of gameplay, they do tend to struggle a little bit.
A little, but I think that it's kind of more to do with Houston Outlaws starting to find a roster that works for them and starting to find key strategies that work well for them as well. Okay, their offense, fairly horrible actually on Horizon.
Really bad,
sure.
But they had a strategy and they knew what they wanted to do with it, and the defense was very good. I like this lineup from the Houston Outlaws. I think Jake and Linksa make a good DPS combo, and then having Dante there to sometimes fill in when they want to run Sombra Goats, or for there, like where they want to just have the Sombra and they don't need the Diva. I think that works really well for them.
I was a little caught off guard by NYXL, not only in the loss in map 1, but SBB coming out for his second map of the season after being arguably one of the top 3 for the MVP race in our inaugural season. But today we want to focus on Houston. It's a fresh start in the second half of the season. And Josh, you asked the community, how can this team level up?
Yeah, I said, if you were in charge of the Houston Outlaws, what would you do to try and make improvements? Because they went Norden 7, so we'll see what the fans came up with. All right, so put Banny on Zen. That's a controversial one. On
It's happened before, usually by mistake.
Yes,
usually by mistake
Houston
whenever they mess up the subs.
But I kind of agree with this, going all in on Sombra Goats. This is what I want to see more from them, and moving throughout the second half of the series, we might see if that's the case.
Keep it going here. That was Amelia with our first one. Dave says, Sideshow Gaming, ask all of the meme team Twitters to stop picking on us. Esports, not meat sports.
That's one of the greatest hashtags ever.
Well done.
I can vibe with that.
Sorry that they hurt your feelings on Twitter.
Didn't play 3-3.
Didn't play 3-3.
Force the Outlaws style and the enemy crushing with DPS. I mean, this is what we were saying as well in the pre-show today. But
sure, but I don't think it's too much to do with DPS. I think the Sombra is really the key, and so I agree with Alpha Chad Yotta Dominator here.
Love this guy.
Sombra Goat is probably the play. Dante's really strong on that hero. If they can try and craft compositions where they can find success out of that, and also play Moomer on the Orisa, like we saw him have great success with there, I think that's something that they can work with.
All right, and it looks like we have a few more click-the-head hitbox using a combination of mouse and keyboard. This is like some great Bren or Hex advice right there. I've got that in Plat Chat.
Just click the head's forehead, you know?
There's a reason they call it Plat Chat.
And this is my personal favorite. Harsha Bani, of course, from the Vancouver Titans says, win.
Well, it looks like they followed his advice, at least on map 1.
Harsha, the new coach for the Houston Outlaws, apparently.
Possibly,
didn't work out.
He's making his rounds. He's making his rounds. Guys, right now it is 1-1. We still have 2 more games. Give me the odds here, Bren. 0 to 100. What are the chances that Houston comes out on top?
20-1.
Okay.
20 to 1, so like a 5% chance that they win.
No, actually, no. Let me take that back.
Okay.
7-1. 7-1. 7-1. 7-1.
Slightly higher. What about you, Jeff?
I think there's a reasonable chance, but I don't think New York are going to get caught off that much, and the map pool doesn't really favor Houston, so I think it's going to be New York that come away with the win, but Houston looking a lot better.
All right, New York has only lost 3 matches all season, trying to make it, well, 3 after this one. We'll see if they can close it out with 2 wins in the second half.
Enter for a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime trip for you and a friend to attend the 2019 Overwatch League Grand Finals and get the latest 9th-gen Intel Core i9 processor. Visit intel.gg/Core i9 to enter now.
Sure. Well, hello, and welcome back. So, we're getting into, I thought I was on the desk for a second there, you know, doing the Q&A. But, oh yeah, by the way, guys, Q&A, be sure to, if you are a pass holder, be sure to stay tuned at the end, all access pass, be sure to tune at the end for Q&A with the players, usually. Sometimes the casters.
Yeah.
You know, if you're so lucky.
People don't care. They tune in for the players.
Yeah, no, I think they tune in for the casters next month this year.
Yeah, but production doesn't like to hear that.
Hey! So, now let's go ahead and take a look at this guy, SBB. Turns out he got fed up with warming benches, and now he wants to warm a seat on the main stage. Hex.
I believe they mentioned in the halftime it was his second map played all year was Horizon Lunar Colony. It does seem like
3, by the way.
Yeah, we're gonna get a third map out of Sebiolbe. And here is Sombra's stats. 4 deaths, 2 final blows, enemies hacked. Again, you know what? I don't like to look at the raw numbers here. It's about being clutch. Comes in at the end, gets the EMP that they needed. And yeah, it would be nice to see him play yet another map, as I do believe he's still on stage.
Yeah, take a glance back real quick. Is he still there? Or did they sneak him away?
I just don't know if I'm dreaming or not. I mean, is Pine coming in next?
Yeah.
Who knows?
No, it was Pine who tackled him off the stage. He's like, it's not fair! It's not fair!
He's gonna,
I don't get to play! You don't get to play!
He's gonna take off his mask. It's gonna be Pine underneath. Well, we are gonna move into Watchpoint Gibraltar and what has been a surprising series thus far. A couple things go differently, and Houston could be up 2-0 on this map. Sorry, we're on Numbani. I don't even know what I just said. I'm still think I'm dreaming. But here we go, Numbani. Houston will be on the defense here, and this is what we all asked for. We wanted something different. You're not that good at 3-3, which is actually a nice way to put it. So run something different, and they're gonna.
They're gonna give us the fist. Linkser thinking about it. He's on it. And we got Jake once again on the Pharah as well. I always like to see the Pharah play. Defense, offense, all works as far as I'm concerned. Excel making some adjustments, and let's see what they decide to stick with here in the end. The Sombra.
Just peeking right now. NYXL. See where they want to go. They're gonna get some scouting information from Sabiobi. Animo's hacked on the back line, but that's not gonna result in much back there. So the rest of his squads are to protect him. And we'll see how NYXL wants to approach this. It can be difficult. They don't have a whole lot that shoots up.
No, they don't, but they do have a punch that can drive you into the wall. Mono nearly goes down there. That'd have been big.
He was anti too, I think. Unable to secure that kill. It's a little rough, but still, no pressure from NYXL. Gotta be careful on that edge over there.
You do not want to expose yourself to that, Jake. Gonna get tickled for a moment there, but it, whoa, Jonak oversteps, caught sleeping, he's out, and that is going to be the New York Excel having to back off now and go for the reset.
Non-ideal, and one of the benefits of playing compositions like this is that teams don't practice against this. They don't scrim against this. This was the Chengdu advantage early on in the year is, well, we're not going to spend all this time practicing against this. See exactly what happened to Jonak. Up the stairs and off the edge. I believe that was
that a Pharah blast?
It sounded like a Hammond. So Muma did not get the kill feed credit, but that's what it sounded like to my trained ears. Huge hack!
Slam, there it is, Barrage is in, and this time Jakes gets the value. Full 3 plus a D-Make on Nene. Didn't have the best luck, Jake, on Lunar Colony with the Pharah barrages, but this time he's definitely shown up. 2 minutes bled off the clock here.
Also not ideal here, but look at this. It's the EMP. Not great to be in a hallway against a Justice Storm with no umbrella. Worse even, Jonak used Nano Boost during that, and they got nothing. So he will switch onto Zenyatta, which a very killable hero against DPS compositions, but they need that Discord orb. That's why he's on it. Sabiobi can't do it alone. I don't know why people always expect one hero to be able to kill 2, but they're gonna need to Discord this combo, try to get something going and get some kills, because so far they only have 1.
Oh, SBB though, let's see, working his way up there. We're trading back and forth, and SBB has been eliminated by Jake. The very hero he was supposed to counter, Jake pulls a 1-up on him, and now we're gonna get the Meteor Strike right on through the top.
He's gonna reposition himself. Gotta be still a little bit careful. Don't want to be up those stairs and get knocked off here, but now making some headway is NYXL with Boink down. That really severely limits Jake's ability. That will really limit it as Mono comes in to finish it off. A nice assist from Jonak there, as his Zenyatta play has been stellar since he switched to it. And they will take it against all odds. Now, let's see what kind of compositions that teams are going to run, as you do have to switch usually on Numbani here. First point plays very differently than second. EMP is up
There it is.
for Houston. And it does seem like Muma at some point will very likely go to a Winston here. You don't see a lot of Hammond Zarya compositions. They can work.
No option. Well, there's the MP. Looks like Houston, they want to win this fight outright. Gonna start off strong, removing Mono. You lose Animo as well, and New York relegated back to spawn. Some serious pressure getting cranked out here by Dante.
It's nice pressure, and it's also going to help him charge up his next EMP. EMP just came off. 36 and counting up now. Yeah, they can charge us pretty quick.
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, if you have good aim, helps to have a good aim. I think you said it earlier, right? You know, click heads, profit, loads of bullets in there. Muma still sticking to the Hammond. Gonna be able to get out of there. The drive-by, Dante. They're finding him. They're going back and forth right now, but Houston Outlaws giving up Jake may not help things. It looks like perhaps they want to try and give a little bit of ground. Although there's the boost going out, and it's Muma.
Well, they want to try to stall out as much as possible. What was unfortunate there is that while they were using Transcendence, the anti-heal was on cooldown. You would love to toss that in there and hopefully turn them all purple there. Especially considering that NYXL is not running a Diva, would have been unable to stop that. So it's using a basic ability to shut down an ult, but simply on cooldown at that point. And with that, NYXL will make a decent push here. And Sebiobi is nearing an EMP of his own. This one is just all about who can get it off first.
SPV is in the back line now. Going to be able to get it. Yep, EMP is online. Dante on the other side. They're on opposites now. Who's going to go for it? Well, it looks like they're getting forward. They don't want to wait anymore. Libro and Sebiobi setting up the play. Jake instantly deleted. Linkster follows. And at this point, Dante, you just hold on to the EMP.
Yeah, I can't do anything about it, although the anti-heal comes down and Luma's able to take down one. I don't think it's going to be enough. No, it certainly will not be. Second point gathered here for NYXL. They will add some time to their bank. 2.5 minutes to complete Watch Point Gibraltar. Why did I do that again? Numbani.
It's because Jib is the last one that we're going to go.
Yeah, we are going to go to Gibraltar later.
We'll get there, Hex. We'll get there. That much is guaranteed. What we have to see is whether or not we're going to get the 5th map. Bit of fight here on both sides, and Houston still have the tools necessary to win these fights. Linkster's got the grab.
I mean, the question is, can they win this with a single ultimate? You don't want to use both. 4 hacked.
Yeah, there it is. Big EMP, multiple hacks. They are backing off, though. Animo with the sound barrier. Did a good job of keeping him up, and can't overextend here. Linkster going to get overwhelmed. Libero and SBB, just a full-on collapse of the defense. Houston Outlaws getting run over.
Yeah, it's not the greatest positioning as they go greedy looking for kills. It's nice that Houston's playing more aggressive, but it has to be tempered with intelligent play. That one did not work out well. They still have a Graviton of their own, but Jonak, as always, will have Transcendence. And now, NYXL is going to have ultimates to use. They get grabbed, though. Jonak got out.
No Jonak, no trans, but now, again, it's the same thing. Now they're going to have trans for the next fight. They still have time on the clock here for NYXL.
But that's a brilliant play, to hack the Zenyatta and then grab into it. That is the counter. Now you can't use ultimates, can't use anything. And Houston has reset their economy as well. This one, again, it is Sombra versus Sombra. Who's got the quicker typing speed, the better keyboard, better Linux shell? Who's the better hacker? Who gets it off first?
Oh, buddy. Instantly destroyed. They know what's going on here. Taking their time with it, NY. But now they're going to get the boot. Animo's going to ferry them all through, straight onto the point. Offensive aggro, but it's countered out by Dante with an EMP of his own. 2 kills, players dropping on both sides. Still some progress being made here by New York Excel. Point going to be able to challenge it. Flinks are giving him the bubble. And now it's Raucus. They're just a meter away here, a couple of meters. All they need on the New York Excel side, but they're deciding to back off and give ground.
That's a little bit troublesome, though. They just used Transcendence to stay alive. Nene's coming back in with a Graviton surge of his own. No Diva to stop it.
And he's going to get that as well. And Jonak has got the trans just to keep everybody healthy as well. Straight up. No time wasted, and they are going to get to lead it. The Houston Outlaws going to get run over. Focus fire too good. Linkster, nothing he can do but die, and this is going to be the New York Excel collecting 3 points on Numbani. A successful offense for them.
Just a better execution of ultimates is what it came down to in the end. Forced into using a Transcendence they did not necessarily want to use. That opens the window for Nene to hit an uncontested Graviton Surge. They did get it into overtime though, so decent. We shall see what Houston's offense looks like when we return.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Огонь по готовности!
Well, there you have them on your screen. Houston Outlaws proving to be a fight here for the New York Excel. They did a good job on the defense. They ran the clock down. New York were still able to pick up the 3 points, but Houston right now are showing us that they are here to play.
They brought a little different style, which is what everyone kind of had heard that they were going to try to do, which made a world of sense to try to do. You can't keep trying to do the same thing and expect different results, especially against a team like New York. You throw them a little bit of a curveball. And yeah, New York did finish, but not without a struggle there. So there were some really smart, coordinated plays from the Houston Outlaws. It looks like they have set strategies and plays on their defense. Like the hack and the grab, I thought was a really, really smart play. Hacking the Transcendence to be unavailable.
Sick communication to get that set up.
Exactly. And hey, if they play a couple of those fights cleaner, NYXL doesn't finish it. There was just some small mistakes, but I mean, I think regardless of how this series turns out, Houston has set a foundation to build on, at least in Stage 3, because, well, it couldn't get any worse in Stage 2.
Exactly.
But this is what I wanted to see. I wanted them to give everyone hope. We know that there's talent on this team. It's about how to properly utilize it.
All right, a little bit of pressure being applied here by Linkster to kick things off. Eventually does hit the shot again. SPV just has the bad habit of running into bullets. Thrown in there by Linkster. Jake still applying the pressure from on high as well. And this is going to be the Houston Outlaws really trying to crank it up as Linkster once again gets to show us what he's capable of with a mechanical hero.
Finland's gift to Esports strikes again! Nene down! And if you didn't know, you better remember, Linkster is a hard carry, capable of such play. Oh, it's good to see.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good to see.
It's been a while, Hex. It's been a while. Now we're actually going to get the Widow v Widow duel. Nene making the change. Let's see, can he go toe-to-toe with Linkster? Once hailed as one of the best Widow v Widow duelers.
Well, I mean, statistically he was the first 2 stages of 2018. Some other Widows caught up towards the latter half of the year, but when Linkster's on,
he's scary.
Yes, it's a terrifying, terrifying Widowmaker.
Oh, SPV definitely does not want to be there. He's had enough of that.
You got a fear of God. Mono gets antied and deleted.
Woo! So close. Jake even getting in on the action now. He's going to go ahead and change it up. We're going to get a Doomfist in play, and New York right now are just getting caved in. Nene, Khan, Booma finding the 2, and a pause just because Linkster was so powerful. The game couldn't handle it, Hex. He was dominating too hard.
You have to, you know, not to float rumors, but during our talent takedown, there was always like, if they're doing good, we have to go and plug something on the other side. So not to say that that's what happened. Usually it's just a hardware issue, mouse and keyboard. Something happened. That's why we have our wonderful referees up there. I can't imagine that. Well, I mean, if you're Houston, you're just mad if something is on your side that was broke, because you have so much momentum right now.
Kind of throwing an eye back there. Let's see. Do we have anything? It's Jake doing a bit of chatting right now with Rocket.
Well, I mean, that's just nothing at all. Jake's always doing a bit of chatting.
Jake's always doing a bit of chat. He's like, look, I was trying to punch him like that. Man, I love playing Doomfist. He's great.
We need to do a bad lip reading.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we need to do.
Dude, we'd have so many opportunities. Look at it. He's like, I punched him. He didn't die. I don't get it. Like, isn't that what the hero's all about? It's so frustrating.
I can literally watch Jake talk all day. I don't even need to hear him. I can just watch him. He's so animated.
He's got the hands and everything. He doesn't realize what's going on, though. That's the thing. Take the cans off.
Well, let's take a look at what Linkser is capable of. And oh my goodness. I mean, what are you going to do if you're mono there? You're getting knocked up in the air. Little pressure there. New target acquisition. It's an interesting style of sniping, and you didn't see like a flick there. He had his crosshair where he knew he was going to be. There's like alternating styles, and most good Widows can do both of the flick shot or adjustment, or the wait until they go into your crosshair, the prediction kind of sniping. There's different styles, but very good to see Linkser smiling and back into it.
Well, I think in Overwatch in particular, it's much more valuable to have the Twitch style than the wait. You know, in terms of movement, how the movement mechanics work in this game, it's very unpredictable where targets are going to be. So you need to be able to react and snap to. Yeah. And that's where you can see Linkser just excels. He's got that Twitch movement.
There are games, which you obviously know, that you can just camp a corner, wait for someone to pop their head in there, or you know, just shoot through smoke and hope that something happens.
I've seen that too. Happy comes to mind. But yeah. That is definitely a thing. I'm just glad that we're getting to see these mechanically gifted players.
We have a Happy in this game too, also very good at clicking heads. Did a little head clicking yesterday. But yeah, this is everything we wanted from this Houston team, and I'm so happy that they're living up to it. It's one thing to just try to run like triple DPS and different things and try to get something done and still get bodied, but like they're showing signs of life here.
What's really frustrating for Houston, and this is, we used to have this as well in terms of like esports back when there were many more technical pauses, right? Things going wrong. That's just how it was on LAN. You know, anything could happen. Yeah. But then when it happens, when everything's going right for you, it's like, no. Yeah. Get back in right now, because right now New York are getting all the time in the world. It's like a free timeout. They get to sit there and just be like, right, guys, what are we doing wrong here? Come on, let's get our heads in the game.
Yeah. Luckily, we have professionals who are in on it, working on the issue. During online tournaments in Overwatch's infancy, I've filled for 90 minutes at a time before. I'm just like, we'll see. What's your favorite movie? Right?
That's it. That's where they get today. I mean, we used to have discussions about the benches that were on the maps. I wonder what that bench is made out of. Yeah. And then, you know, you had different benches, and you had different times.
Well, we are back, unpaused, to catch you up on it. It has been all Houston right now on their offense. Linkser's put on a clinic. Jake's punching people. Muma's disrupting everything. Libero can't make the jump. Libero will die as well. The question is, do they stay on this for last? Because last is a very difficult point to push with DPS compositions.
The answer is...
Jake goes to Brig.
You could still have Linkser. If he's hitting all the shots, Hex, if he's hitting all the shots,
I know, but there's not as good of angles here, and I feel like they just felt they ran out of momentum, perhaps.
Well, 5.5
They've got 5.5. See, if they finish with a good amount of time in the bank, then they're not going to lose the map. A huge EMP.
Big EMP, boost committed as well here. What is going to happen? Animo goes down, and quick heal backwards from New York itself. That's all they want to give up. Animo, and then he's going to be able to rest right there on the front doorstep. Thing is that they're on the home stretch now for Houston Outlaws. Meters away from the point. They're getting closer. Raucus wins out versus Chonak. This is a big deal now. Chonak, without that healing, it's going to get dicey here. But Nano is able to turn it around, though. At least they trade 1-for-1. And Sabiomi's going to commit. Here we go.
They get the res on a Jake, but Raucus will fall post-EMP, and it's time to head back to the ranch if you're the Houston Outlaws. Because look at it. They really just need to win one fight. If they finish with over a minute, that's it. They get to crack at this map again, whereas NYXL just has to pray for a draw. I can't believe I'm saying this in this matchup, really. Like, I hoped Houston would play well, but I didn't realistically believe it. I'm not a pessimist, I'm a realist, right?
You're a happy pessimist, Hex.
That's kind of true. This looks great. That doesn't look as good.
No, that is SBB just having a good time. Oh, spots out Dante as well. Nene getting that charge up, that energy up. Just getting him out. And the thing is now, if NYXL can keep just getting that ult advantage and then not using all of them, just try and use as little as possible. Force Houston Outlaws to be the ones to overcommit. Force them to be the ones that have to take the risks.
Well, NYXL's ult economy is in a very good shape because they've been running a lot of these heroes a bit longer. So, Houston can still take it slow. NYXL's gonna try to stay into this.
Yeah, okay, they've committed to. Jonak got his boost out as well, so they're gonna win this fight hands down. Jake, does he actually get out of here with the rally? He's like, guys, I have armor. This is great.
As an optimistic EMP there, and that's unfortunate. They used 2 ultimates, did the Houston Outlaws, where I feel they could have banked up there. And Rally is an ultimate that you don't necessarily mind using, except if it's obviously a losing situation. That one not working out great. They do have Graviton Surge. The other side of things, there's no defensive ultimate for this grab. The EMP is the best bet. This is fine. It's fine. Go home. Jonak is not on Zenyatta. No Transcendence for this. Animo, use beat. You know this. It's a great window of opportunity for the Graviton to get there. Dante making a little progress here.
Every meter matters. But look at that.
Really
this fight has been going on for so long. The payload nearly pushed all the way back.
Yeah, they were 1 fight away, and with defensive respawns, they might be 2 now.
We're down to 2 minutes 40 on the clock here for Houston Outlaws. New York Excel have held so far. Rally and Shatter online here for New York Excel. Could be time to get in here. If Libero's feeling it, they are in position. SBB gonna be starting to work on that. Mono with the Shatter, throws it out. Hoping for some magic there. Wasn't quite the case, and SBB gets mowed down. There's the grab coming through. This could be the moment that Houston Outlaws are waiting for, except that the counter grab from Nene, perfectly timed, makes it difficult for Houston to pounce. And there's the massive EMP from Dante. Could be the fight-ending ultimate thrown in.
Cleans it up, but not a lot of deaths. Only Libero went down, and respawns are going to be coming up, and Mano does get hacked. Both fall very low. Animo down!
Yeah, Animo down. This is big. Nene out as well. This is going to be the moment here for the Houston Outlaws to get the job done. Tying it up 3-3 here on Numbani. We're going another round.
Houston's going to have a chance to win this right in 1 minute.
We're back into it, and we have Houston Outlaws on the offense because they finished with time on the clock. They get another go. New York Excel, like you said, Hex, they're just crossing their fingers. They have to hold.
Yeah, they're not going to win this map. That is 100%, and Houston does not have to really do a whole lot to win this. 2 minutes on the clock for them. This has been a banger of a match. I picked up some words from the Brits.
From the Brits. I mean, I was wondering if you spent too much time around Mitch. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, all the non-colonials, I suppose. Although Wellsbury was a colony. Anyway, Houston has a chance to come out here. They're looking like they want to continue to run damage compositions. NYXL trying to match this now.
Yes. They have Libero on the Pharah, Nene on the Widow. Could make things interesting here. Looking like we will be getting a little bit of change here on the Houston side.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Like you need to come out at some point in time so you can get 2 fights. The walk to first point on Numbani is forever. There's broken down buses along the way. That should tell you something. So
they don't have any wheels, Hex.
Now with 1 minute and 20, they're gonna enter for the first time.
Oh, they've been spotted, but with the shield, brave. But with the shield there, it makes it difficult to take these kinds of sniper duels. The real targets are, yeah, Libero, Animo kind of floating high there. Lynx are going to have to work for it.
Oh, they're just trying to put a little pressure on the point with Muma. No kills thus far. First kills are going to be critical. Muma gets antied, able to get out in time.
Nene barely squeaks it. Oh, Drake on the flank. There's the first one. Attempted res for Animo, not gonna happen. And Houston Outlaws, Hex, unless they really screw this up, they are going to be taking the lead in this series once again versus the NYXL. New York XL must be stunned. What is happening to them? Houston Outlaws take the lead in the series 2-1.
And yup, they're ready. They could have won this series already had HLC gone differently. Houston Outlaws up 2-1, heading into the fourth map against all odds.
Against the New York XL.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Hex, that man on your screen, large part of why the Houston Outlaws are up 2-1 versus the New York XL. And I'll do it because he had the impression.
They put
Hanzo on the last map.
They put a lot of pressure on Nene, and Jake was able to find the kill onto Hanzo. We actually did a rewind with Jake recently, and yeah, he's a big fan of Hanzo. One of his favorite heroes to play, actually. So, shows up big there. His versatility has been key for Houston's success. Plays Brigida, plays the Pharah, plays the Hanzo. Just to recap for everybody, the Houston Outlaws, our number 17 ranked team in the league, is up 2-1 against the NYXL. And you know what? I'm surprised, but I like being surprised, so I'm very, very happy right now. They were like one cleaner fight away on HLC, Horizon Lunar Colony, from 3-0ing this. NYXL has to bring it back here. Look, there's taking maps off, and then there's losing to Houston, who didn't win a match in Stage 2. And what a boon to the confidence this would be for the Outlaws.
Yes.
They didn't make any changes during the break, during the halftime break here. Going with the same core set of guys. But this is, I think, the starting roster that can take them a long way here.
Perhaps, I mean, this is the thing. You're sticking to it. It's like Hunter's sticking to their game plan coming into the season. We're going to play our style, and that's going to be the way it is. And there you go. Whether it works or not, this is what's going to happen. And Houston, same thing. Not making the dire roster changes that we've seen in other teams. Perhaps now in the second half of this season is when we actually get to see them start to shine and come into their own.
What do you think if NYXL loses? Do you think they'll ever wear their alternate jerseys again?
No, that's the first. Yeah, that's it. That jersey gets burned. I mean, we got one sub coming back into this. The fight. Cool Matt.
Yep.
We'll be back on the stage here with Dante, or subbing in for Dante, rather.
It is the coolest of mats, as his name would dictate. Used to have a number at the end of that one, now it's on the back of his jersey. But since we're going to Watchpoint Gibraltar, it makes all the sense in the world. It's a map that you almost 100% have to run a diva on, no matter what. Sombra can be good on it, but you know, you just make versatility changes elsewhere. But this map has so much high ground that you almost have to run a diva. It's very difficult not to.
It makes sense. It makes sense. But let's go ahead and take a listen in on Houston Outlaws when they were in the lead.
Yeah, let's go!
I did nothing.
We have one more map still.
Yeah.
One more map we have to
Jake.
win. One more map we have to win.
Woo! Stay calm, guys.
Just like old times, baby. Climbing up top of the storm arrow. Woo!
I want everyone to calm down.
Hey, calm down.
Well, that time it wasn't Jake. It was Jake who was all like, oh my God, I'm so excited. This is great. And then everybody else was like, calm down, Jake, please.
It's so nice to see Linkser so happy. Like, it's been a bit. One of my favorite people. He's been around since closed beta. Linkser's been playing, and I've been casting him, so it's been a long time for him. And there it is. That is how we got to this point. Again, Houston had a real solid chance at winning Horizon. This could be all green going into it, but Watchpoint Gibraltar up next. An interesting map. A lot of high ground here. Again, that's probably why you have to run the diva, but this used to be a very Widow-centric map.
Indeed.
Used to always run Widow on this, and we shall see what these teams want to run. People have been clamoring for Houston to please just run damage dealers. You're good at them. And now we have the visual evidence that it works for Houston.
And they could be the team. They could be the team to say, right, we are going to stick to that. That is our style. We're done with trying to run 3-3. We're done with trying to make something work that clearly hasn't fit us. I mean, NYXL are going to be in a bit of a tough spot right now, because if Houston throws out something weird, NYXL, they can't really adjust on the fly. They've got such a long way to go back to spawn, so they're trying to go for the coverall, it seems.
Well, I mean, you kind of run this. Houston's offense is not indicative of what they're going to run. They're just going to try this, which every team tries.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but, you know, Gibraltar is very much like a 3-3-ish map. You know, your tanks are going to try to take high ground, so it is going to be 3 tanks, 3 supports for the Houston Outlaws. The Sombra variation for NYXL, where you take your diva out and you put Sombra in on that. But Sabiobi has not had the greatest of Sombra so far today. Some of it's been unlucky, but you know, some of it maybe just still trying to get a feel for the hero.
But he doesn't have to worry about that now because Linkser isn't on Widow, right? That's been the main thorn in his side, is that somehow Linkser just keeps finding headshots on him.
It's just strange because Mecha was playing Sombra for them early in the year and was doing okay. And now it's like, what do you do on the offense? Do you throw in the Sombra in the offense? So it's interesting. We'll see. Uncontested so far as the payload rounds the bend.
Some serious progress here for Houston, but again, they're going on to a comp where they haven't had the greatest success. They lose the majority of the fights. Running 3-3, and Libero's going to find Jake out in the open. That's not going to help things here for the Houston Outlaws. Raucus going down, and Raucus overwhelmed by Nene.
Losing one is not the end of the world there. Losing your Brig is not the worst. Losing your Zen right after is bad.
The diva as well is certainly not going to help. All right, so New York, they gave a lot of ground, but they confidently won that fight. They got the job done. 2.5 minutes on the clock here for Houston Outlaws. No changes on their side of things here for Houston. They're sticking to their guns.
Well, the issue is New York's ahead in ultimates, and they have an EMP ready. There's going to be nothing to stop this. Raucus needs to get to Transcendence. Sabiobi has telegraphed his EMP rather obviously most times. He decloaks, throws his Translocate over the top, and then goes for it. You could play the mind game where you don't go for it. You could just whip the Translocate over and not even Translocate.
Raucus is doing a great job right now of hiding in the back room. Yep,
Got
exactly.
It off.
Gets it off, sure, but Raucus with the trance is there. Somehow Ruma still goes down, though. That's a brutal focus fire from New York Excel to capitalize on it. We lose SBB, but Jonak with the trance now, trying to keep everybody topped up. He's going to open the door here for Linkser, but Animo's got the sound barrier to counter the grab.
Nene could get this in there. Matt is trying to be around to try to eat up this Graviton. They do have sound barrier too, so not over yet. They've done a good job of getting ults out of New York. Matt eats it!
Oh, that's so big. Matt is so clutch. But there's the sound barriers. Big kills coming in. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Pinned to the walls that are now painted red. New York Excel. They held out for a good bit. They did burn time, but that is the first point here for Houston Outlaws.
Oh, they're such a clutch Graviton defense matrix negation. We just call it eaten. It's a lot easier, but I know it can be confusing. It's a little future vacuum that just eats up projectiles there. And now they're in a good spot to take away this high ground. Even Muma's up on high ground here as the Reinhardt. See if he pulls a super and tries to 180 shatter off this.
Oh man, that would have been so sick. He'll still get the fade away on Jonak. That's not too shabby. And if they get through here quick, man, Houston Outlaws, they can still do it, Hex. This is bonkers.
Well, they're pushing through, and that late kill onto Mono, there might not even be enough to contest this. There won't be. They don't want to come in because they don't want to split spawn and stagger this. And Houston rolls through the hardest part of Gibraltar with ease.
Okay, now you can go to Widow Links. Come on.
Widow was good on this last point.
You get up on that balcony, you know, it turns into a shooting gallery.
But they're already taking position. Usually you want to take this corner here. A lot of Reinhardt fights happen around corners, trying to get free hammer hits in. Matt is just going to be everywhere being annoying. NYXL has the ability to win this next fight. There's the EMP.
There's the EMP over the top, trying to hide it.
Got it up. Got trans off again.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. It seems like Sabiomi is just willing to get in there with the EMP whether they spot Raucus or not, because Raucus is ready for it every time. Last time he was hiding in the roofs. This time, clearly hiding behind, well, not in range.
You need to switch it up. You need to throw in your translocate and then not go in at some point in time. You got to throw him in a literal curveball. It's not happening here.
Oh, Jonak with the trance. We'll be able to contest 3 quick kills. And Houston Outlaws will finally get sent back.
Oh, Raucus gets left all alone. Matt just bailed on him. Matt gets out alive, though.
I have feelings, though, Hex.
It's still good for Houston because NYXL still doesn't have a whole lot here. Their economy is in shambles. Same could be said for Houston, but let's just try to win a straight up fight here. I wonder if they can set up like a bash grav here, or not a bash grav, a bash self-destruct. Matt's very good at finding these angles on the Diva. You know this firsthand, it's a very good map for self-destructs.
Oh, buddy. If anybody can do it, Matt can do the best impersonation of me. It's true. Let's go, Nene. Kicking things off, and yeah, not this time. Jake is out, and Cool Matt's gonna get demec'd.
Well, that will win them the fight straight up. Anima used his barrier to engage there, so that's fine. It does get Mono closer to his shatter. 2.5 minutes on the clock for Houston to try to close out this map as the payload lurches backward. They still have self-destruct and still have sound barrier. Good job with ults. Sabiobi's going to get there because EMP charges that quickly.
Yeah, he's clear comfort up there, SPB. He's going to be just fine. Mono right now crouching, looking for it, but they are just going to press forward relentlessly here, Houston. They're getting some decent progress. Now the contest can finally come through for New York Excel. SPB's got the EMP, could come in over the top. Mono's got to be careful not to get cut off from the rest of his team. He is dropping dangerously low. Hero Shatter just thrown out there. Cool Matt. He will survive just fine, though, and Houston Outlaws now a chance to just press forward.
It's another EMP that got nothing, and now they're racking up the kills. Houston in a great position to finish this out. The Transcendences have been godlike from Raucus.
He just does not miss a beat. SBB going to be contesting, but it's not going to be for long, and the Houston Outlaws will be picking up the third and last, perhaps the last-minute contest. Mono doing the best he can. Nana even in there with the Doomfist, but it's just not going to be enough. Surely they're going to be able to clean this up on the Houston side. One after the other, they fall, and Houston Outlaws now. They've done everything they need to, Hex. It's all about holding. They got the 3 points. Now, can they hold against the NYXL?
They are a single defense away from taking a series from NYXL, widely regarded as one of the best teams in the Overwatch League. Last year, this year, every year, they've only lost 2 matches all year. And my goodness, I want everyone to tweet Raucus apologies if you've been critical of him, because his Transcendences absolutely saved this team time and again. There were 3 EMPs in a row that got nil, squat, nothing, because Raucus is able to save his team. Oh, it's been good to see.
He's on point with the positioning. Name of the game for the Zens when you know Asombra's on the field. Raucus has been up to the task today. Marvelous hair as well, as always. So, NYXL now on the offense. Now we get to see, do they change anything up, Hex, or not?
It remains to be seen.
What could they change, I guess? Because SBB seems to have to play Sombra. That seems to be part of the game plan here.
Yeah, I mean, because you took out Mech. Yeah.
Get him on Widow. I don't know.
Could be. Are the Houston Outlaws like the biblical Samson? Is there power in their hair, you think? Like if he took clippers to the house, would they just fail completely?
It's not happening.
All right, defensively for the Houston Outlaws is set in stone. They are out of spawn, ready to go. Standard 3-3, and why not? Worked for him last time. I really think if Sabiobi plays on the Sombra, he has to start trying to mind game Raucus. You see, there are teams who will just throw Translocate over and over and over, trying to bait out Transcendence. But Sabiobi's gone to the well every single time, and it has not worked. The buckets come up poisoned.
I think he keeps just trying to hit targets with it, right? Rather than find the key. Raucus is doing such a good job of hiding. It's a tough place to be here for SBB to get the value, because right now he is a bit of the linchpin for the team. They need those big plays from him.
He's in the back line, trying to get a little bit of charge here.
Oh, nearly had it there. That was close.
Houston draws for his blood. Please don't hold in that pack room. That pack room is death room. Raucus!
We see a little bit of the San Francisco shock here. Houston Outlaws gonna put them back in spawn. Now, do they hang around? That would be the play. That's how you do it with style, but it's not looking like it. Houston decided to play it safe. They're gonna back off.
They've done a good job of charging up some ultimates, though. Transcendence is charging faster than EMP right now.
Jonak will be there, but Raucus, I'd say there's the hack on Linkser once again. SBB just being a real thorn in the side of the defense. Jonak gets the pick, and that's big without your Zarya. No bubbles, no damage, no big damage at least.
And he was so close to having Graviton. Houston needs to back up right now. The EMP catches two. Jake and Matt do get killed, taken down. The EMP does find Pater that time. They will stagger out Matt.
Yes, this is where you go quick, though. Get the quick reset. Houston Outlaws, they have what they need. Raucus didn't throw away the trance. Linkser's gonna get the grab up here. But with Nene in the grab, he could lock him at the door if he wants. Yep, gonna do just that. They can just go ahead and coast that point straight on through. Grabs or not, doesn't matter. That's gonna be the first point. Picked up for NYXL, and the fight won handily as well. Raucus they still have the support ultimates here for the Houston Outlaws, though.
Yeah, a little bit rough there. They do get cleaned up going through second point. The issue is that now NYXL is going to be able to take high ground, and this is how you saw Houston able to cruise through this shuttle phase of Gibraltar, which is so difficult. Sabiobi is getting caught. Like, he's been caught by Linkser several times. He gets caught right there by Raucus, and they eject him. This is huge for your defense, because now you can chase if you want, but you also now get your own high ground on second. You take it away. Houston was able to take their offense because they took high ground and never gave it up to New York. It's a hard stage to push into as the offense once this main door closes, because there's 4 tiny choke doors. That'll help.
I'm curious what the play is here, where SBB fits into the system. I see it calling a lot right now, keeping an eye on his camera, right? Like, he is calling a lot. But it's like, does he have the confidence, right, from the first season? Does he have that ability to be like, this is the call, this is the play, this is what we need to do? And will the team follow him in the same way? It's a tough place for SBB to be. A lot of pressure on him, but another EMP goes in, and Raucus once again with the trance. Still, they finally succeeded in getting that kill on Muma. They do get that collapse.
Yeah, Raucus got batted around, and now Linkser's gonna get grabbed, solo grab, taken down. That's a good EMP. I mean, Sabiobi's playing the Sombra in a very strange way. So he decloaks first in front of the team, so he can get EMP off immediately after Translocate without any decloak delay. But he's never really like scouting and being invisible behind them and trying to figure out where the supports are. It's a different style.
It's very straightforward, hammer and anvil kind of EMP. Like, this EMP is going to short everything.
It's been somewhat successful. It's been a mixed bag. You expect a higher elimination rate from EMP targets, but Raucus has been very, very good on it. That time he just got batted around and was unable to get to his tanks and keep them alive.
Quick fight coming in for Houston, though. Boink commits the sound barrier.
Shattered.
That's a shadow that's going to slow things down for sure. Muma hanging on by a thread. It's going to be actually the self-destruct coming in here from Matt, just hoping to try and stagger things for New York, not let them get too comfortable, because it is going to be some serious progress here for New York Excel.
Getting rolled over right now. It's just desperation time, trying to stall out the cart so that they can't get camped in their doorway here. Rockus is going to switch. He's going to Ana because he knows Transcend is coming up.
Yeah, Nene's got the grab as well. We're nearly there.
They can't do anything about it. They have to counter grab this if they get grabbed.
Gonna have to go for it. Well, EMP over the top. Let's see, do we get the value? 2 quick kills here for NYXL. Jake gonna follow, and this is gonna be the NYXL plowing through. Much better time for NYXL as well. 3 minutes on the clock for them. Houston not able to withstand the pressure in the end. We're tied up 3-3 on Gibraltar.
It's been a good series thus far, but I'm getting the feeling we're going to 5. We'll see. Do another part of Gibraltar right after this.
This is a bit in a game of all-out aggression. Hex, the Houston Outlaws on the defense, then really trying to take the fight to NYXL. But NYXL, this time, we're able to withstand the blows. And yes, we are going to get mono here. This is the final push from NYXL. Just a monster shatter. Houston Outlaws, they commit the sound barrier to that push, expecting to be able to roll over NYXL. Mono was having none of it.
Sound barrier and rally to try to get super aggressive, but Mono has been, probably one of the most flawless members of the NYXL. You can't really tilt him. He knows what his play is every time.
Awkward for SBB, he's gonna get evicted. All right, so let's see, how far can Houston Outlaws go with about a minute on the clock? It's gotta be clean.
Well, I've seen teams complete this in overtime, so it is very, very possible. Actually, may have been Houston who completed it in overtime last year against Florida. Someone completed it in overtime against Florida last year, that's all I recall. It might have been Houston. They were very good on Gibraltar last year. Getting all the free push, NYXL's giving up a lot of ground here. They don't really have the tanks to play high ground.
Yeah, that's gonna be perhaps a problem here. Houston Outlaws' problem for them is that they're not really getting too much charge.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Right now, New York Excel are the ones who are way in the lead in terms of ult economy. That's only going to bear out. That's only going to be the strength here for NYXL. Down to 25 seconds for Houston Outlaws.
Well, so far in the last bit of seconds, Linkser has used 2 personal barriers and is down to 7 charge. Not ideal for your Zarya player, and NYXL is just playing around this EMP.
Yeah, he's going to get it as well very quickly here, SBB.
He can come off the top rope, translocate out, and continue to do damage for his team.
There it is. So, just no time wasted. Straight in, this time, Raucus once again. Johnny on the spot, has the trance up and ready with the Shatter there combo, though. That's going to be Boink going down here for the Houston Outlaws. Jake instantly goes for the rally, instantly deleted. The grab is too powerful. NYXL fully charged up. Just wipe out the Houston Outlaws. That's as far as the Outlaws will go. Right in front of the first point.
And Raucus had the Transcendence up, but there was just too much happening for the NYXL, able to get the grab follow-up as well. This is the most predictable Somber play I've ever seen, and it keeps working.
He just gets in there, and he's just like, fine, Raucus, you go ahead. But so far, they've been so good about, yes, okay, Raucus is there with the trance. He's keeping the majority of the team up, but they keep killing Muma. They keep finding 1 kill at least before that trance really is there to save him. The focus fire has been excellent here on the side of NY. So let's take a look at that mono shatter. It's probably the one for exactly. EMP over the top, mono just straight in. Shatter perfectly timed, catches Muma mid-swing. Yeah.
So the charge does a lot of burst damage there, so it's very difficult to heal through that. Oftentimes when people die during a Transcendence, there's great line of sight plays where Zarya will use Barrier on a teammate or herself to block the line of sight of a Transcendence. You don't get healed through that. That's why some of the deaths that you see, kind of hard to see in the chaos that can happen, and you got 12 people in a corner right there. But I actually thought Sabiobi was going to play a little different style. I was like, oh, he's going to drop off that. He's going to come up and shoot people. No, he just cancels his translocate. Over the top, EMP again.
Right in
It's
the corner.
the same play for the last 10 EMPs. But you know what? New York's somehow making it work. Houston needs the hold of their life to win the series. Still possible, maybe not probable.
Absolutely possible to get the job done, but they are sticking to their strategy. 3-3. Grind variation through and through here for Houston Outlaws. So this is what they practiced.
Animo is just gonna, if they hung up there too long, you're just gonna push them off anyway. Houston hanging out in what I believe our colleagues Wolf and Ilios call the meat grinder room, because if you stay in that pack room, you will die. Almost happens every time on the defense.
Solid defense so far here from Houston, though. New York are willing to go toe-to-toe, however, and they are hanging in there.
It's a little bit good for the defense if you don't commit to one of the rooms because you have these hallways to dive in and out of. But that one hurts. They just lost Rockus. They have to give up ground.
That's problematic. If Jonak's going to show up like on the first map of the series, start hitting headshots on Rockus, things are going to get dicey here for Houston.
They have plenty of time to come back in. They need to win 2 fights in a row.
Save Rockus back into the mix, yes, and they are complete.
Numa got isolated. He dropped down alone. His team wasn't there with him.
Getting ahead of themselves here on the Houston side. Jake scratching his head, and that is going to be it. New York Excel running it back. 2-2 is the score. We are going to the 5th map. Hex, we need to settle this once and for all. Are the Houston Outlaws going to be capable of one of the biggest upsets we've seen all year? Or will the New York Excel just show how dominant they are? They wanted to put on a show.
We're going to Control. It's Controlled Chaos coming up next for our 5th and final decisive map. Will it be Houston? Will it be New York? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Огонь по готовности. Огонь по готовности. Огонь по готовности.
Welcome back from the break, ladies and gentlemen, and that is how Jake reacted the last time these two teams played. Not pleased. Angry Jake. Saw the eyebrows, Hex, the angle there. It wasn't pretty.
Well, We'll see if this story is a little different today. 2-2. Houston Outlaws, 3-11 on the season, tied up with the New York Excelsior. 12-2 on the season.
Even when angry, though, Jake is considerate. You know, because he just slammed that desk, but he only did it hard enough to express his anger. He didn't actually try to damage the desk like some pros that I've seen in the past, where they just leave dents in the desk. You're like, okay, man, come on, that's the desk. It's not your desk.
I'm fragile. I would just hurt my hand, so I wouldn't even bother with it. All right.
Do to you.
Our next and final map will be Oasis. Houston was able to win control on our very first map of this series, which seems like hours ago. However, record so far on Oasis, 0-2 for Houston, 2-1 for New York. But I think this is a map where you can run DPS if you want. This used to be the best Pharah map in the game. You could run Pharah on every single point. You can still run Pharah on every single point if you so choose.
5, 4, 3.
NYXL looks like they want to stick with their compositions. No substitutions for either team.
Sticking to their guns. Rocket's going to be on the Ana. No Zen in play here.
Houston about a 25% win rate on tiebreakers. NYXL a little over 50% on map 5s in Overwatch League history. Muma is on the Winston. NYXL is going to run a Reinhardt 3-3 composition. And Sabiobi staying on that Sombra. It hasn't been pretty, but it's worked well enough.
It's worked. It's gotten the job done. Jib went their way. Now it's about him keeping his cool here. SBB wasn't on the first time they played Control, so that could potentially make the difference, although I'm sure that he would love to be playing Tracer, but still. You know, he's halfway there, Hex.
Yeah, Raucus is on this Ana as well. He's got the high ground. Libero gets anti-healed, but it does not matter. Sabiobi finds a critical pick onto Boink to open up this fight.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one right there. Raucus doing a good job of getting the heals out though, so the boost will be there. That's going to open up some options here, perhaps for Moma. Nice nades going in as well. Animo and Nene having to back off. So far, it's still the fight. And NY, they are going to get it. They sneak it.
Yeah, Muma has to jump off because he gets very, very low.
There's the boost, and there it is. Instant EMP here from SBB, and he is just going to go ahead and shut Muma down. You can't jump back to safety, Muma, if you're hacked.
I'm just wondering what the plan is for Houston here. And obviously they have one. I'm just trying to suss it out. Because they're playing very passively. They've got Jake up top with Raucus just trying to do healing. Maybe it's just to hit a big nade and then get in with Muma and try to burst somebody down, but they don't really have the damage capabilities, but that can work. So instead of the Discord, you wait for the Bio Grenade, the anti-heal, because they don't have a D.Va to stop it, and then you boost in. Big shatter.
Oh, and the big grab as well. Jonak, he doesn't have a chance to cancel this out. This is going to be the Houston Outlaws. Counter grab thrown in by Nene. Interesting. Very interesting plays.
Muma crushes with that Primal Rage. It is what made him such a standout player in Season 1 of the Overwatch League. His mechanics on Primal are second to none. And with those critical kills, Houston will bring it back, are in control, have Nano and Rally going forward. An EMP will be available for Sabiobi during this next fight. And without a Zenyatta, they don't really have anything to counter the EMP.
Oh, exactly right. That is the thing. They're relying a little bit out net in the past. Mono's going to find the first kill here to kick things off for the NYXL. Those anti-heal nades, those bio nades, have been really doing work though. New York XL keep having to worry about them. Raucus just doesn't seem to miss, but right now without Mad in the mix, it's going to be tough for Houston Outlaws to hold.
They can try to stall if they feel like they can. Rock's going to try to jump on it. It's not work out real well. And now New York XL with 2 support ultimates heading into this next fight. A lot burned on the side of the Houston Outlaws during that last one. They're going to hold doorway here and let Jonak try to get some volleys in because there's not a permanent shield up. Just Matrix in the Winston bubble, so there are going to be some opportunities for Jonak to hit those long-range volleys.
Nene doing such a good job as well. He used Grav in that the previous fight. Nene, he's nearly got Grav again. This is going to be tough here for the Houston Outlaws to crack. 80% and counting now for New York XL. First point of Oasis.
Well, Raucus gets hacked, so they have to wait on getting the anti-heal in. Nice stun on Mono, but he should have a free shatter whenever he wants it. There's no opposing Rhine.
Ooh, Nene gonna get it off though. Buma punished once again, 96%. This is it now for Houston Outlaws. They don't have their main tank. They need to come up with something magical. No joy there from the self-destruct. And there's the EMP. New York Excel, they have all the ultimates. They're just gonna slam them home. And Houston Outlaws now back to spawn. There's the shatter. You're not getting anywhere near this point. Out you go.
It's a masterclass of using ultimates to close out a map. They came in one by one. You only need single kills when you got everyone on the point. The grab goes down, a shatter to close them out. They had every tool that they needed. And now 1 point away from Oasis. New York bringing this one back from the brink.
Yeah, all of the elims going New York's way right now. 18-5. They're the ones who are getting the kills. They're the ones that are closing them out.
It's just difficult to get kills with this composition against the 3-3. Maybe you try to isolate Jonak, and that's why you're running dive tanks onto it. But without your Zenyatta putting Discord orbs on people to do all that damage, it's very difficult to pull off. I think it was supposed to be an Ana high ground strat, just never really came to fruition. There were some good hacks onto Ana and onto Raucus on Ana and Muma on Winston that did not let them work in concert, I think, the way that they wanted that to work.
Curious to see how this is gonna pan out. I don't think Jake ever stops talking. Just been watching him for the past 30 seconds. He's just non-stop.
Well, he's also chewing gum, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he's chewing.
Maybe. That's the calm thing. Calm things down. But right now, they are wired tight. New York looking for the first fight. It's looking like Houston Outlaws are going to be able to force him back. Raucus, though, dropping low. The focus fire is there from SBB.
Zabiobi's done a very good job in his assassin role as the Sombra. Like I said, some of the EMPs have not been great, but he's been able to get first kills on his support several times, and that's where that tracer tracking comes in. We've seen it when Sinatra flexes over to the Sombra as well, that they're just able to one-clip people because they're tracer gods. Right now, Houston has opted to run a very similar composition with no Sombra. Speaking of the devil, if you've ever been hacked by her, you will call her that. EMP is ready. Sabiobi ready. He's going to hold on to this high ground. And there's no counter to it just yet.
He doesn't even need to go for the port here, but he's going to do it anyway. Why not? Laser takes down Liver but they instantly trade for Jake. Muma's gone as well, and that is it. NYXL, one ult used, and a one fight. That's as good as it gets.
You're just making me laugh. This does the same thing every time.
But he can literally just drop down off of the top. If he stays on the high ground, nothing's going to get rid of him.
No, style points. So yeah, just chucks on the translocate, gets all the targets he wants, takes them down. And that is another ult economy advantage for NYXL because they win a fight using a single ultimate, 52% and counting up, and they've got everything they want to work with here. Grab comes in.
Yep, now there's the grab going in. Key fight here for the Houston Outlaws, and it's not looking good. They've already lost two. They might be able to take Mono out. He's out in the middle of nowhere right now, but he's getting topped up. Puma, there's not much you can do here. 66%.
Actually connected it point dive animation because he used it. I'm not sure if it connected or not. I don't think so, given how quickly everyone died. But
I just got obliterated.
I took a glance at the stat screen and that was over immediately. Speaking of over, one fight away. NYXL, 81% and counting up here. Trying to close out this series, a hard-fought one against the Houston Outlaws.
This is heartbreaking for Houston if they go down now. Take NYXL to the 5th map. You gotta close it.
Sabiobi got out with like 2 HP, and now he's around to farm his next EMP. Big shatter, no follow-up.
Big shatter, Muma tries, not gonna happen. 99%, this is it. Full map with the self-destruct into the corner, cleverly placed. Gonna force Muma to turn his, gonna force Mono to turn his back, but there it is once again. The EMP comes through. SBB gets the job done for the NYXL, and it will be the NYXL taking the series. 3-2, dashing the hopes of the Houston Outlaws. No mercy in that man.
The NYXL has a switch they can flip. We've seen it time and again. They may not give you 100% of the time, but when they need to, they find what they have to do to win. Again, let's give some respect to the vanquished. If you're a Houston Outlaws fan, you saw signs of life, and your team gave you something to hope for here, as they gave one of the best teams in the Overwatch League everything they could handle.
Looking promising. They certainly are. See if they can stick to their guts in the future, but if they can take one of the best teams in the league the distance, even playing 3-3 strategy that they have definitely struggled with so far in the season. Jonak, a little bit of a grin. He can show emotion after all, Hex. It's true. He's just ice cold when he's on the server. Outside, totally chill.
Houston gave us some new strategies throughout the matches today. They looked very good on those DPS strategies. But speaking of DPS All-Stars, we've got Danny on the floor with Sabio.
Samler and Hex, thank you very much. Blizzard Arena, make some noise for Captain Sebelvi and NYXL. Awesome. We've all missed you. It's really great to see you back on stage. But for you, Sebelvi, personally, how was it to be back on stage playing Overwatch with your teammates? 되게 오랜만에 세벨비 선수를 좀 무대에서 본 것 같아요. 굉장히 많은 분들이 보고 싶어 했을 것 같은데 오랜만에 이렇게 경기 뛰시게 됐는데 좀 어떠셨나요?
이제 제가 있을 곳에 온 것 같고요. 팬들도 다시 보고 팀원들이랑 경기도 다시 뛸 수 있게 돼서 너무 좋은 것 같아요.
I finally believe that I'm at the place where I belong, on stage, performing and playing games in front of all the fans and with my teammates. So it feels really awesome. And we're really happy to see you back up on stage. And also, we all know that Sebelvi is one of the best tracers in the world, but this is the first time we've seen you play Sombra. How long did it take for you to practice and master Sombra? Sombra를 든 게 이제 좀 처음인 것 같아요. 저희가 본 게 팬들이 본 게 좀 처음인 것 같은데 어떠셨나요? 좀 이렇게 얼마나 오래 걸렸나요? 연습을 하고 이런 과정이 얼마나 오래 걸렸나요?
연습을 많이 하고 나온 거는 아니에요. 막 많이 하진 않았어요. 그래도 일단은 잘 해야 되니까 최선을 다했습니다.
I actually didn't practice that much on Sombra, but I had to do what I had to do, and I gave my best, and we won. And you guys did win. And also, since Sombra Goats is, part of the meta now, and a lot of teams are using Sombra Goats, so can we expect more of you throughout the season? 좀 이제 아무래도 솜브라 고츠를 조금 더 많이 나올 것 같긴 한데 이제 이번 리그에서 앞으로도 좀 세벨비 선수를 좀 많이 볼 수 있는 좀 기회가 있을까요?
자주 볼 수 있었으면 좋겠습니다.
I hope that I could play back on stage more often as well. Alrighty, thank you so much, Sebelvi. Back to you guys, casters.
Thank you, Danny. And well, that just goes to show that when you're a DPS god, you don't need to practice Hex. Just like, oh, I need to click on things. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need to.
I think he could add a few elements to his Sombra game. There is some parts missing, but it doesn't matter. In the end, he pulls it off, and he got a lot of people EMP'd. That's what happens when you translocate in the middle of the group. You get a lot of people EMP'd.
Gotta bump. Gotta get those numbers up, Hex. Gotta bump those numbers up. Yeah. That's exactly what that's be doing. We're going into the match. Let's take a look at our player of the match now. Brought to you by owned by HP. It is the main tank, Mono.
The real Wolf of Wall Street. Mono does get it done. As always, we talk about his impressive, consistent play. And what more do you want out of the guy? He hit shatters, he hit charges, but really when everything goes wrong and you need a big play, Mono's always there for you too. Like that Gibraltar shatter was enormous. They tried to take the fight to him and Mono's like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm Mono. He had to pretty much solo tank a lot of the game. Yeah, Nene was with him, no, but he didn't have Meko. We talked about Meko and Mono. Meko got taken out after the first map, but Mono does everything that you'd ever want a main tank to do. A lot of people get glory. You got your bumpers, you got your supers. Mr. Consistent, Mono.
Mono's right up there with the best. Now it's about getting that team comfortable and to start getting those wins. 5 maps versus Houston Outlaws, 17th team. Perhaps it took New York a little bit of time to adjust and get their head in the game. I'm very curious to see what New York are going to be capable of versus some of the elite teams when we do get to see them play against them. But that's not our last game of the day, Hex.
It's not.
We've had a good day, actually. 5 mappers all the way. Let's go. We have one more series coming at you guys. Be sure to tune in. It's Gladiators versus the Dallas Fuel coming up next.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.